Hi everyone, from me, Brent Graham, and welcome to this Stage 2 preview of the 2025 Tour de France. Well, we had a lot of action yesterday. We're going to get into that in just a second, but a reminder that we're now going out on the Good for the Game Extra channel. So subscribe to this channel if you're watching this and hit the bell and you'll get notified of any previews that go up. This one's coming up pretty late. I had a bit of a rough Saturday, I must tell you. Durban, July, rugby. I was a bit exhausted on a late Saturday night, so I decided to do the preview on Sunday morning. Let's have a look at the results from Stage 1. Jasper Philipsen takes the green jersey and the overall lead of the Tour de France. He beat out last year's green jersey winner and our 10-1 selection for the green jersey this year, Biniam Gomez, who will be pretty happy with his second place there as far as the points that he collected. A couple of interesting names there. Turgis, Anthony Turgis, we of course got him at 130-1 in the stage last season. He's certainly showing he's got some pretty good legs of game. But the stage itself, well, the crosswinds we spoke about in the preview yesterday ended up coming to fruition, and it was Jumbo-Visma in particular who put the hammer down. It's good to see that Vingegaard is keen to race very aggressively this year. He's going to take every opportunity he can. We know that Pogačar does that as well. And what that means is, while we will have a few straightforward sprint stages like what we're going to see today are bound to be pretty exciting. Anyway, there were some big losers on the day as far as time goes. Not that big in the relative scheme of things, but certainly not great for the likes of Roglic and Evenepoel, who got caught in the second split and ended up finishing some 40 seconds back. Let's have a quick look at the outright betting. Not a lot of change there. In fact, Pogačar and Vingegaard very much the same still in the betting. A bit of a drift there for Evenepoel. He's now 12-1, and Roglic is out to 28-1. Both of those guys now already got some work to do. Interesting that they were both in our match bet, long-term match bet. I've got Roglic over Evenepoel at 16-10, so I was quite happy they at least finished together and Roglic wasn't caught behind him. In the points classification, Jasper Philipsen now the favourite. Milan, of course, yesterday missing out on sprinting for the stage, and given how this tour is set up, it's going to be very difficult, in my opinion, now for him to win the green jersey, and Philipsen's certainly a worthy favourite. Today's going to be interesting, though. It's Mathieu van der Poel, 12-1, sorry, 11-1, there's the decimal built in there. He's 11-1, and it's good. If he goes for the stage and wins it today, it's going to be interesting because we're going to have the two riders from the same team very much up there in the green jersey race. But it's clear from yesterday that Philipsen of the two is going to be targeting the green jersey and not Van der Poel. Right, King of the Mountains, won't spend too much time on this. There's going to be very little change over the next few days. The only exception to that would be one of the big contenders sort of fall out due to maybe a bit of misfortune, and it becomes clear they might focus on this jersey. But at the moment, you got Pogačar there as 1.25. That is favourite. What would that be? 25-20 favourite to win. Right, let's move on to stage 2. It's a pretty lumpy stage. There's quite a bit of wind predicted as well. But if you look here, it's certainly far from a flat profile. We've got 4 categorized climbs, 1.1 kilometers at 5.9%. That's with just under 100 to go. Probably not going to be that big a factor. By the way, very long stage at 209.1 kilometers. So it's going to be a draining. This is a typical stage for one of those classic riders. But the thing is that the GC men are not going to want to let anything go too far ahead. We've got a sprint here with about, 60 kilometers to go. And then you've got you've got 2 Cat 3s and a Cat 4 climb coming in. And these are all the sort of 1 kilometer at 10.6%. You've got 800 meters at 8.8 and another 1.1, your first one at 9.4%. These are tough climbs. What does that mean? Well, it means it's very unlikely we're going to get a pure sprinter winning this. A guy like Philipsen might be able to hang on, but this is more of a stage for a Mathieu van der Poel. What can we expect? Well, I imagine we'll get a breakaway, go clear, but it's once again going to be kept on a tight leash. I guess the only question here is who's going to chase, because this is not the sort of stage that Pogačar and Vingegaard would necessarily be targeting for the stage win. But at the same time, there will be guys out there whose teams are looking for it. And I would expect Philipsen also being in the jersey that the Alpecin team will keep this break in check. What we're going to get in the final 35 kilometers, I've got no idea, but I do expect action. And I think there's actually a very good chance that Vingegaard or Pogačar has a go. And it's a question of who goes with them, quite frankly. And we could very well have a fairly select group coming to the end. It's not impossible that we might even get a winner coming in on his own. But I can well see a scenario here where the big boys start throwing a few early bombs at each other. And someone like Mathieu van der Poel is able to hang in there. He's the type of guy who'll probably work himself to keep the breakaway, but he might be able to get away with sitting off a little bit and then beat them in the sprint finish. Unfortunately, the bookies are very much wise to that. Before we get into the betting, a reminder of the World Sports Betting Tour de France. Get a refund up to 5,000 Rand on a second place finish. Take a look at the T&Cs. It comes to you in the form of free bets. And be aware that you can't win a free bet with a free bet, if that makes any sense, which it probably doesn't. But basically what it means is if you do get a refund and you bet on the next stage, be careful if you're using your refund, because you won't be able to use that. But it's a great special. It's one we're going to be looking at and taking advantage of. Well, one we're going to be certainly putting into play today. Stage 2 winner, Van der Poel, very short bet, 16-10. Pogacar, he's sort of just under the 9-2 mark. I could certainly understand why those two are the favourites for the stage. Nice, he's 9-1 ahead with Wout van Aert. Difficult to know what Wout is going to do, but he's certainly got the ability to win this stage as well. Just going a bit further down, if it isn't perhaps as action-packed as we're thinking, or as I'm thinking it will be, then certainly a guy like Philipsen might be able to hang in there at 33-1. Gourmet as well showed good legs yesterday. He's 28-1 for the stage. Battling to get into a sort of punting rhythm at this stage, taking things very easy. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go with 2 units of the favourite Van der Poel. I'm taking that at World Sports Betting at 16-10. And the reason for that is if he does run second, I will get my stake back then in free bets. It should be an excellent stage. I'll be sitting on the couch. I was only able to watch the replay of yesterday's stage, but certainly looking forward to relaxing and watching what should be a great battle, in particular over the final 35 or so kilometers. Right, that's it, folks. Just a reminder to subscribe to the channel and give us a like if you do enjoy these shows. We look forward to being with you throughout the entire Tour de France. I'll be back probably late Sunday night with the Stage 3 betting preview.